Mallorca, a cyclist paradise, known for its mix of terrain and warm weather. And it's a place where cyclists flock to take on the island's famous climbs and iconic routes. There is no arguing why this place has been a mecca of cycling for many years.
Welcome to Mallorca!
So we thought it'd be a good idea to show you why this place has the reputation it does. But it all starts with a plane ride. Majorca is part of Spain's Balearic Islands, surrounded by the Mediterranean Sea, meaning the weather, on the whole, is pretty beautiful and sunny. Once we arrived, it was a case of unpacking our bikes and getting everything ready because the day is going to start with a really, really early morning. The challenge we have set ourselves is a very simple one. Design a route that is under 160 kilometers, 100 miles, that takes in the most iconic roads and climbs that Mallorca has to offer. The start of the ride is going to be at Cap FORMENTOR. The end, Port de Soler.
After a short plane journey and a quick car ride, we find ourselves here at the northernmost tip of Mallorca. Now this is where the Sierra de Tramontana mountain range meets the Mediterranean and the perfect destination to start our bucket list ride.
Yeah, we're at Cap FORMENTOR, which means the end of FORMENTOR, and the perfect place to start our ride. We're currently at the FORMENTOR Lighthouse and we're heading inland across the peninsula. But, I mean, if you ask me, what a way to start a ride.
Look at that. Worth the 3 coffees I had to get out of bed.
I almost think this is becoming a bit of a pilgrimage, don't you?
I think so. I'm just looking forward to heading down this peninsula now with that light on our backs. Beautiful.
Let's just take it in before we set off. Oh, beautiful.
So as you can see, the lighthouse is just behind us. The Peninsula Road is 20 kilometers long. It's quite undulating, but you got a view like that to keep you entertained. This is going to be one epic ride, and it's going to be quite the adventure. You ready, mate?
Thanks, yeah.
Whoop, 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 whoop! This is just the start, but you can straight away see why cyclists flock to this place. The descents are so sweeping, the roads are so smooth, it's really quite quiet, and the views are next level. FORMENTOR behind us, we've now got a nice descent next to PUIG, and then we head more inland towards Uc.
Yeah, the first real big climb of the day. They were quite more like kickers. What we've got coming up is a real mountain.
It really is, yeah. It takes us deep into the mountains, and then we've got probably the most iconic bit of road on Mallorca to look forward to. But first, an epic descent.
We're going down. We ride on the flat for a number of kilometres, leaving the coast behind after one heck of a sunrise, and headed towards our next climb of the day, the Col de FEMENIA.
Has to be said, the great thing about Mallorca in general is just the cycling community out here. There's so many cyclists, all on race bikes, hybrid bikes, even steel bikes.
Go, go.
Keep going, you got this!
You just got to admire them for giving it a go. I mean,
Amazing.
everyone's just up for taking on these climbs, and that's what makes Majorca so special. There's just so many amazing climbs packed into such a kind of compact area. It's a paradise if you have a bike.
I wouldn't recommend those bikes though.
Well, it gets you to the beach in one piece.
Yeah, that's true. In one piece?
Well, you got to get down the other side. I don't know if those brakes would work for me.
Not me.
I've had too many croissants this morning.
Likewise.
Hey,
Then I take on your back wheel.
go for it, go for it. Not long to go now. Made a big descent.
Stinging the legs, that.
First big one done though, first
Yeah.
climb of the day.
550 meters, called the FEMENIA. And now, down a little bit
So Luke,
before we start trekking up, mate.
yeah, big climb to come now. We pass through Luke, home to the 13th century Santiago de Luc, and begin to prepare for arguably our hardest climb of the ride, the infamous CALOBRA.
So we've broken through the clouds now, the sun's popped out, and we're on the way to CLNGR.wav. Now it's a rather winding, twisty, undulating bit of road, which takes you all the way to the top of CLNGR.wav, and then, well, it's one way in, one way out, isn't it?
Yeah, and when you look down from this coast road and the top road here, it's such a dramatic drop off, and you wonder how a road can even cut into this mountain. Pretty spectacular sight
I think
itself.
dramatic's the word used for this kind of scenery.
Yeah, it is.
Oh my God, look at that sun, mate!
Sun's
Hello.
back, ready for the ascent of CALOBRA.
Yeah, it's October, and it's what, 26 degrees, 27 degrees? But we have got a place to be, and that place is CLNGR.wav. Wow, look at this, mate. Don't get more beautiful than that.
It's potentially the most iconic climb in Mallorca, CALOBRA.
Here it goes.
CLNGR.wav, the most famous mountain on the island. Length 9.4 kilometers long. Average gradient 7%. And elevation gain 670 meters. This one is a beast.
When you think of Majorca, you think of mountainous scenery, winding roads, and the Mediterranean looming in the background. And you also think of potentially one of the most iconic climbs in the world, CALOBRA, which is why we had to feature it on our list today.
Yeah, if there's one road you're going to ride on in the entire island of Majorca, then this one would be it. Now, it's been hunting ground of some of the world's greatest riders, but it's also been on the bucket lists of many cyclists. And you can kind of see why. Just look at it. Woo! Thrilling descent, I have to say. Those switchbacks are next level.
Yeah, exciting. We got carried away a little bit, but now we're at the bottom. Well, what's left to do?
Well, at the bottom, you've got a whole host of different restaurants. So if you come here and you make it in the middle of the ride, then it's the perfect place to get a bocadillo or two, which is a sandwich in Spanish, I hope. Plenty of restaurants all lining the coast, and if you fancy a dip, then you can also do that, because that looks quite appealing, doesn't it?
Or you could contemplate your fate.
Well, yes. The other story is that the more you eat, the more you have to carry. It's uphill from here. Switchbacks of doom. Other than suffering, but to the right of me, what an insane view. The snaking road down to my right, The switchback to my left, consumed in cycling history and iconic climbs. Majestic. Now, just to put into context how many people ride this climb, over 250,000 people have logged their ride, all going for that ominous KOM. The man who sits on the top is world tour rider Sebastian Henao, and he did it in a time of 24 minutes and 54 seconds. Outrageously fast, averaging 22 kilometers per hour. I think he's pretty safe at the top there.
Yeah.
We're not going to beat it.
I don't think I can go down CLNGR in that time, to be honest with you. But it is impressive how many people have been on this climb, because it's a challenge to actually get to the climb in itself, because you have a few serious bergs before this and colls. And when you pass the top, I remember coming here frequently on training camps. You're a little bit tired and you're planning to go down CLNGR, and you really have to motivate yourself to take on the challenge, because once you drop down, as we said before, only one way back up. And that's what I think makes CLNGR so fearsome.
Definitely, it's fearsome.
That was a fun descent, wasn't it?
Yeah, I did enjoy it. Makes all the climbing worth it.
Yeah. Oh.
So we're still hitting the gradient. It feels like we've been climbing a long time, but all for good reason, because we're coming up to the highest point of Mallorca, known as PUIG. Now this, we've suffered a lot getting to the top of, but the reward is an absolute epic descent.
Here we are. Okay, we've arrived at the top of PUIG, the highest point of our route today. You just come through the tunnel at the top there, and we've stopped just to admire the view. One last time. This is at just over 900 meters altitude, and from here, we have about a 20-kilometer descent into the town of Soler, which is honestly one of my favorite descents in the whole world. You really do just whip down here for so long.
Yeah, well, it's lucky actually, because looming behind us is the descent, and if you're going up, well, it's a seriously long climb.
It's a long one.
But we got the descent.
All the way down to sea level.
Yeah.
All the way down.
You ready, mate?
Yeah, let's do this.
Let's do this.
Wow.
How are your legs?
Yeah, good now. Now I'm going downhill.
Ooh. What a view! It's got to be one of my favourite descents. It just goes on for ages. I mean, it's the most amount of 3Ks you'll ever get on a bike ride. I'll tell you that for free.
After a long descent off PUIG, we headed over to Col de Soler, a 5k climb with an elevation gain of 257 meters and an average gradient of 5.1%. But it's definitely recognisable for all those switchbacks, and I mean there's a lot of them.
Yeah, it's a tough one, this, and it's tough because it's zigzagging the whole way up. Hits an altitude of 505 meters. Now this was the main road to Soler back in the 1990s, but then a tunnel was put in, which drastically reduced the traffic, meaning this place and the climb is left for us folk, cycling folk.
Oh,
and boy, do we like it.
Yeah, for that reason, it's got to be my favourite climb on this list, to be honest. So it's an essential climb on the iconic roads in Majorca.
Can't wait for the top though. But these hairpins, they're a killer.
There's a lot of them. Another hairpin. Made it, mate.
What an epic ride. I loved every single minute of that. I guess my highlight was CLNGR.wav. Seeing the amount of cyclists there was truly inspiring, I would say.
Yeah, it was pretty incredible. Just a steady stream, gradually passing every single second. I think for me, it's got to be that morning light in FORMENTOR. That was something special, getting up to see that, and then just cruising along the peninsula, rolling down to Pollença. That was pretty unique.
It was, and we've been super fortunate to come and ride the beautiful roads of Mallorca. And if you want to, then you know exactly where to go. And let us know in the comment section below what roads you ride.
Yeah, thank you, Majorca, so much for having us. It just was an absolute feast of riding. Loved being here. It was incredible. You've got to come to the island.
There we go. You've heard it here first. Right, now we're going to drop down.
Yeah, we're not finishing yet.
And we're going to have a little bit of a surprise, aren't we?
Yeah, it's all downhill.
We've got to
here.
finish traditionally. Bit of Spanish tapas, I reckon.
Let's do it.
What are you saying?
Yeah, I can't wait for that. I can't wait.
What is it? It's food.
It's food. Yeah. You know me. I love my food.
Once we had made it to the top of Col Soler, we decided there was no better way to finish off a classic Mallorcan ride than tapas by the beach in Port de Soler. Oh yes, iconic Spain.
Made it to Port Soler, down off the climb, sun setting, perfect view, and a lovely place to eat.
It has to be said, there is no better way to finish off an epic ride than a spread like this. Typical Spanish tapas and a local beer. Cheers, mate.
Let's do it.
Feels awfully romantic, this, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. I mean,
look at the sunset. Beautiful. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next video.
Thanks, Rob.
We might actually not leave this place.